you thinking about making a move in 2025, but you're just not sure if it's the right thing to do or not, and you have questions or concerns about the real estate market? Well, you're not alone. Plenty of people ask me all the time, what do you think the market's going to do in 2025? So I thought I would break down for you my analysis of where I think the real estate market is going to head for 2025 in the Spring Hill and Brooksville area of Florida. Now, I've been practicing real estate locally here in the Spring Hill, Brooksville area for 20 years, and I spend hours every single week researching the market, not only to know where we're at and where we've been, but to also predict where we're going. So I want to share the benefit of that analysis with you today and give you my predictions for the 2025 market for Spring Hill, Brooksville, Florida. Hi guys, Ross Hardy from the Hardy team at RE/MAX, and whether you're 9 days or 99 days away from buying or selling a home in Spring Hill, Brooksville, Wesley Chapel, or the greater Tampa Bay area, I want to let you know it's okay to reach out to us. We speak to people every single week from our YouTube channel who have questions about which areas might be best for them, whether it's a good time to buy or to sell, what new construction deals there are, and the pros and cons of living in certain areas. So be sure to reach out to us. You can get us at the contact information below here. You can call, text, email, or set up a Zoom call. We love hearing from folks like you. For now, grab your popcorn, grab your notebook, settle in, and let's get into the video. Now, the first thing I want to talk about for the market for 2025 is home prices. And it's very important, again, to distinguish between different areas of the country. So whereas many areas of the country have still seen home prices increasing throughout 2024, and they're expected to soften a little bit in 2025, Florida is ahead of the curve as far as the softening goes. So in the Spring Hill, Brooksville, and Tampa Bay area of Florida, we saw a 2.1% decrease in home prices for the year 2024, and we're expecting to see those prices stay soft throughout 2025 as well. Now, we're at the end of February as we record this, and there was a report released the other day talking about how 66% of home sale markets in the state of Florida are experiencing price decreases at the moment. And we're seeing data aggregators like Zillow revise their 2025 forecasts down as far as a national trend goes, so it stands to reason that the market is probably not going to be quite as buoyant as many people were hoping it would be at the start of 2024. And that's mainly due to inventory being a little bit higher than people were expecting, and also the interest rates not having come down during that time period. So for 2025 in the Spring Hill, Brooksville market, I anticipate again a small decrease in home pricing. Now, we've seen inventory increase by about 30% in the last 15 months, and that's coupled with the lowest home buyer demand in the last 30 years. So it stands to reason that with an excess of supply and a lack of demand, home prices will go down. That's basic economic theory. Now, I certainly don't think we're going to see anything catastrophic. I would be very, very surprised if we saw prices decline by more than 3 or 4% on the high end, but realistically, probably around 2% like we saw in 2024, maybe a fraction higher. But regardless, I would be very, very surprised with all of the data that I've been studying, all of the forecasts that I'm seeing, and with the increase in inventory that we're currently experiencing, if home prices were to go up in 2025. It's just not realistic as far as I can foresee. Now, that's not to say certain subsets of the market won't be more competitive than others and hold up better than others. So for example, the $1 million plus market in Spring Hill, Brooksville has seen days on market increase over 200 days. Areas like that might be more at risk than, say, homes priced between $250,000 and $325,000, which makes up a large proportion of the homes sold in Spring Hill and Brooksville. So it might depend on what price point you're looking at, but in general, I do see a slight decrease in home prices coming for 2025 in the Spring Hill, Brooksville area. Now, topic number 2 that I want to talk about is the interest rates. It's really the thing that's on everybody's mind at the moment, and one of the things that's made it unaffordable for a number of people to buy a home. Now, if we go back 15 months or so to the beginning of 2024, a lot of the experts and a lot of the forecasts were saying that by the start of 2025, we would be down much closer to 6% for an average 30-year rate, and that's just not happened. As of today, we're at 7.03%, and again, that's just the average rate, including buy downs. If you're a consumer looking for a loan today without any buy down, you're probably looking at being closer to 7.25%, maybe 7.5%. And the problem with that is that a lot of buyers remember those really, really low rates that we had 4 or 5 years ago and are waiting for those to reappear again. But in my opinion, it's just not a consideration that we're going to get get interest rates back down around 2.753% again. And be careful what you wish for, because if interest rates are at 2.75% again, it's likely that there's been some sort of catastrophe in the economy that's driven the Fed to get those rates down to that level. So it wouldn't necessarily be a good thing in general if rates were to go that low again. Now, the interest rates are in general forecasted to be lower at the end of 2025 than they are at the beginning, but that's dependent on a number of things as well, such as the tariffs that might be introduced, which are considered to be more inflationary. So if inflation rises, interest rates will be kept higher for longer. And already we're at a point where interest rates are higher than they were a year ago. They're actually about almost 1% higher than they were back in September. And so they are staying higher for longer, which is curbing buyer demand. And if that continues to be the trend throughout the course of the year, without a doubt, there's going to be a struggle to move the inventory, which is going to add on to the effect of those home price decreases. So the two main things without a doubt driving the market are the inventory, but alongside it, the interest rate as well. If the interest rate stays high, we're likely to see another very, very low buyer demand year, which with the increase in inventory we've been experiencing is likely to cause for very difficult conditions for sellers and likely to have a bigger than forecasted impact on home pricing. All things said and done, I would be very, very surprised if we were down below 6.5% at the end of the year. And maybe I'm being a little bit cautious with that number. Maybe we'll be back down closer to 6.25. But even if we are, I don't see that being a big enough shift in the interest rate, particularly somewhere like Spring Hill, Brooksville, to cause a huge increase in the amount of buyer demand in the marketplace. The number that we need to get to for that to happen, in my opinion, is much closer to 5.25% or 5.5%. And this is coming from somebody who not only is a real estate expert in the area, but also has a current mortgage rate of 2.75%. Now, I'm somebody that would normally typically move every 4 or 5 years, and I've been in my house nearly 5 years now, but I'm in that situation where I have what you might hear referred to as the golden handcuffs. In other words, I'm basically shackled to my interest rate that I'm in at my house now, because let's just say that I am to sell my house tomorrow, and I go out and buy a house locally that costs exactly the same amount as what I just sold my home for. Well, the problem with that is that the difference in the interest rate means that I'm likely to be paying pretty much twice the amount of the mortgage that I'm currently paying. So why on earth would I go out and do that? I'm basically trapped where I'm at, and that's the experience for a lot of homeowners at the moment. It's what's stopping that normal seasonal or every 4 or 5 years movement between places. It's what's keeping home sales low at the moment. However, I do think if the interest rates got back down to 5.25, 5.5, which is actually where I have my very first mortgage in the US, that might tempt me back into the market if I found something that I loved enough, or if life decisions dictated that I needed to move at that point. So I do think interest rates will come down, but not significantly enough to make a big difference in the amount of buyer demand in Spring Hill and Brooksville for 2025. And I just want to round off this overview by talking about two more things that might affect the market. The first one is the new construction and new builds. Now, Spring Hill, Brooksville is undergoing an explosion of new builds at the moment. So we have things like Sandal Key, which is the new lagoon community going in just off of US 19 in Weeki Wachee, which has about 3,200 homes going in there. There's another Metro Places lagoon community slated to start in 2026 out towards I-75 off of State Road 50. But anywhere you drive in Spring Hill, Brooksville at the moment, you can't help but notice how many new builds are popping up. One inside of new home communities, but two on spot lots that are being one-off builds of inventory from builders as well. So now, while the builders' inventory continues to increase, and there was a report the other day stating that most builders have not had this much inventory in quite some time, the builders are going to increase the incentives to buyers to try and make them choose new construction over resales. That's really the unknown factor at the moment, as to how far these builders are willing to go to sell out these communities or sell out the inventory that they have. And while they're not necessarily cutting prices in these communities that would affect the home values directly around them, what they are doing is offering rate buy downs and offering closing cost concessions. And that does make a difference to pricing. If you have a house for sale for $350,000 and a builder has a house very close to you for $350,000, it might seem like you're on a pretty level playing field. But here's the problem, is that the builder is likely offering some incentive to either buy down the interest rate to 5%, which would save you like $300 or $400 a month on your mortgage payment, or offering to pay you $15,000, $20,000 towards your closing costs or flex options. So now you have a situation where the home price is the same, but the buyer is getting $20,000 more benefit from the new construction, or saving $300, $400 a month and maybe $80,000, $90,000 in interest payments over the course of the loan by going with the new build option, which makes resales less desirable, which means they're likely to drive down resale prices. So that's what confuses me when people say new construction isn't comparable to resale, so it doesn't really affect the resale market, because you can see there quite clearly how it it can affect the resale market. So if there continues to be explosive growth in new home construction in Spring Hill, Brooksville, we may see prices topple a little bit more than the 2.5% I predicted earlier. And then the other thing we're unsure about is how the hurricanes that we had at the back end of last year are going to affect people moving to Florida and the movement within different parts of Florida. So it could be that the catastrophic hurricanes that we had at the end of last year put people off moving to Florida full stop from other states. It's simply too early in the process at the moment to tell how that's going to play out and what effect it's going to have on homeowners insurance rates going forward, where people on fixed incomes maybe can't afford to make that move anymore, or people are priced out of the second home vacation market. And then the second part of that is, like I said, is movement within Florida. Are we going to see an influx of people from areas further south of us that were devastatingly affected by the hurricanes, where they're moving further north to get away from the potential dangers of that, or just cashing out of their properties and looking to buy something less expensive? Or are they going to move to other areas of Florida other than Spring Hill, Brooksville, or out of Florida for good? Again, we're just a little bit early in that process to know how that influx or inward migration of people to Hernando County may or may not happen at the moment. And then what we're seeing as affordability is stretched as well is that, yeah, we are getting people move up to Spring Hill, Brooksville from areas such as Wesley Chapel or Trinity or Odessa, where they're getting priced out of markets there. But at the same time, that's being coupled with people being priced out of the Spring Hill, Brooksville market and looking further north into Citrus County. So I don't think it really changes the inward migration into Hernando County or changes the amount of buyers that are in the marketplace in Hernando County. I don't think one kind of outweighs the other, and you're pretty much left with an even balance at the end of it. So to summarize all of it, I think we're looking at a 2025 where we see a slight decrease in home values in Hernando County and Spring Hill, Brooksville of probably around 2 to 2.5%. I think we're going to see interest rates decline, but ever so slowly and not anywhere near as much or as quickly as people want them to, or some people are anticipating. Like I said, I'd be surprised if we get down as low as 6.25%. I'd be delighted if we got underneath it, but I see it probably settling somewhere close to 6.5% by the end of the year. I think that new home builds in the Spring Hill, Brooksville area will continue to dominate the market and dictate to a large extent how the resale market performs. And I think we will see an influx of people looking to move further north than they were anticipating originally because of the affordability and the keen pricing in Hernando County. But at the same time, we're going to see a whole bunch of people still priced out of the market in Hernando County, moving further north to Citrus. Hey guys, Ross Hardy from the Hardy team, and whether you're 9 days or 99 days away from making a move, we're here to answer any questions that you might have. We get phone calls from people like you every single week who watch our YouTube channel and call us with questions about how to avoid certain home buying or home selling mistakes, asking about different areas and our opinions on those, what are the pros and cons, as well as looking for new construction deals. So whether you're 9 days or 99 days away, as I always say, you can reach out to us, give us a call, text, email, or set up a Zoom. We would love to assist you in your next move. So guys, I hope you found that useful. Be sure to comment below and let me know what you think is going to happen with the real estate market here in 2025, or if you have any questions or concerns about the real estate market. I respond to all the comments personally, and I'd love to have that dialogue and conversation with you. Like I said, you can reach out to us in the contact information below. You can call, text, email, set up a Zoom call. It's never a bad time to start doing research or start asking questions. We hear from people like you from the YouTube channel every single week, and I love getting those phone calls. Let me know in the comments as well if you're thinking of making a move this year and if you need our assistance. Till next time guys, I'm Ross Hardy from the Hardy team. It's time to love where you live.